Hi there, I'm Linda Hammond, and this is Talk to Us Live with Spark and Discovery. Thanks for joining me today. Today's discussion is tailored especially for leaders in business and in life. It's about understanding that our brains are malleable and that we can apply techniques to counteract our instincts, whether good or bad. We're not born like this, well, whatever this is. Neuroplasticity forms part of the neuroscience basket of techniques and practices that we can use to determine the outcomes of our actions. These techniques are powerful in business, but can be used as powerfully as an individual. Charles recently spoke about the neuroscience of trust. Trust being one of the most important factors required in building healthy relationships. Part of his content questioned how one would practically go about implementing neuroscience techniques in your business to get the performance you're looking for. What I'll be speaking about is just that, how the programs you roll out in your business can and should be underpinned by neuroscience. There are two elements Talk to Us has focused on since 2015, and those underpin all the programs we develop, bespoke or generic. The elements are understanding and working with narrative theory, and similarly working and understanding neuroplasticity. These two elements complement one another, and it's difficult to implement really good programs without both. There is a multitude of texts on both concepts, and it's a study in and of itself. For the purpose of this vlog, however, I've chosen 6 elements to be considered when putting together your next corporate initiative around change. I reckon there's a lot of change going on at the moment, and with most of us suffering from adventure fatigue, resilience is what we need to get us through the pandemic and into 2022. A hope beacon that will be immensely useful to ensure that your change programs are effective and result in adoption and ultimately impact. So let's for a minute deconstruct the nature of change and how our brains react to it. Our brains prefer to feel comfortable. When they're comfortable, they don't send signals to the rest of our anatomy that increase our heart rate, release more cortisol and adrenaline that we just can't cope with, and we feel that we're permanently in flee or fight. Or in a lot of instances, they just send us into a state of panic, or we have an anxiety attack. I don't believe any of us living through this pandemic has not had this horrible pang of anxiety at some stage or another in the last year. Our brain perceives considerable change as a threat, and immediately our considered thinking is hijacked, and we struggle to manage our emotions. Our brain is also more particular in remembering threats and holds on to them for longer, and that's to safeguard itself and us. In essence, the power of a threat outlasts that of a reward. The outcome of this is that when we speak of change, it is seen as a threat, which leads to anxiety and distraction, causes a negative impact on our ability to perform, and in order to then counteract poor performance, management attempts to implement further change, and we land up in this vicious spiral of entropy, which erupts within the organization. So the question must be, how do we implement necessary change and at the same time safeguard your business against entropy, which leads to diminished performance? Hilary Scarlett, a renowned neuroscience change management consultant, offers 6 elements to consider when constructing your change initiative. Handy acronym for this is SPACES, and it encapsulates 6 elements that assist people in managing the change and anxiety of the people within their business as well as their own. So the first one is self-esteem. It speaks to treating the past with respect, encouraging a positive mindset through narrative, asking opinions, trusting the team and giving praise and recognition. This will obviously manifest differently depending on the change initiative and the history within your organization, but it's an important component. Purpose. Good question to always ask is, what will success look like? Difficult and radical change is easier to deal with if you understand the why and the benefits and what your role is in achieving it. Autonomy. Identify what can be controlled, by whom, and allow people to influence the outcome of elements of the change, especially those in their sphere of influence. Certainty. We all love certainty, but nothing loves it more than your brain. Provide a plan for each step along the way. Lay out expectations and try hard, very hard, not to continually move the goalpost, within the limits, of course, of working through some unknowns. Equity. Fairness and transparency is what motivates most of us. It speaks to the trust that Charles spoke of. We're hardwired to be on the lookout for it. Social connection. Keep everyone on the bus, unless, of course, they want to get off. Then let them. In fact, shove them off, as they will derail everyone else. Remember, prisons punish people by giving them solitary confinement, so inclusivity is of paramount importance. Create an environment of collaboration where there are no stupid questions and no wrong answers. All our programs are underpinned and interweaved with neuroscience techniques. And we work with specialists in their fields, and in 2021, we'll make every effort to bring these specialists into our studio for a bit more on this massive but interesting topic. And that's it for today. So if you found this useful, please like and share. If you have any queries, please do not hesitate to talk to us. We'd be delighted to hear from you.